We have a Synty model here where the back door and the internal door is too small for what I need in my game. So right now we are going to export it to Blender. So we're going to export the model, save it. There's some models that I had been practicing on. I'm just going to create a new one so you see that it works. So these are just my settings, just for your reference. I'm going to just click away, press A, delete everything, import FBX Synty file that we have exported, and just the settings that I've got here. Now I'm just going to select the model, hit tab for edit mode. Disclaimer, I am pretty bad at maneuvering around in Blender. So what I'm doing is using the hand to slide over, and then I am middle click holding to rotate, and where you middle click to rotate, it will pivot you around that point. So now I have selected bevel and faces. So that's the key. We had bevel, faces. I clicked on one face, I control clicked the next face, and now I am going to pivot around that door point to select the far face, control click, and it will select all my faces. Pivot back. I'm going to hit the G key and the middle click mouse scroll button, and that will let me move all of this together in a straight line. See, I didn't do it properly there. So I'm just escaping, and then I'm going to G, middle click. Oh no, I'm still messing it up. G, middle click, and you'll see you can move the mouse up and down. It shows you that little arrow, but I am moving everything straight. If you don't do that, then it completely messes up everything. Stuff starts slanting around in all sorts of orientations that you don't want. Right, so now I'm just double checking that it didn't mess up just around the points, because before I was doing it and my wall and the piece that I was moving in and out in directions that I was not intending. So again, G, middle click, well, press G and then middle click. I hold it. Don't know if you need to hold it. Slide to the side, you'll release the middle click, and you will just click where you want it. And that makes it line up nicely while you're moving it. You'll see when you're trying. Experiment with it. You can always control Z or delete and re-import your model. Alright, so that looks good. We are still on bevel. We're going to now hit line. And same deal, G, then middle click, move. This one's important, otherwise your wall starts completely misshaping and protruding all over the place. I'm now just double checking, because before it was like raising the wall and cutting on weird angles, but this technique allows it to just cut away what you don't want, really. Now I'm going to select the inside wall. Well, it's a plane, really. Select. And just double checking that it hasn't messed it up, as when I was practicing all sorts of things were happening, but this seems to work quite nicely. So that's really the gist of it. I'm going to do the next door, and really after that, the only thing I could add for this is that when I re-import that, I get some UV mapping issues when it comes in. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes it says overlapping UV mappings or whatever, and I show just how I troubleshoot how to fix it. I end up mucking around for a bit, but it turns out I only needed to change the index. But what I did was I actually went through and tried different resolutions and etc., and then scaled back down from there. But we'll see that in a minute. I'm really just making this video to remind myself how to do this, because once I'd finally figured it out, I was I'm probably not going to do this again for a while, and I'm sure you know that if you leave this for a bit, you won't remember it. So this will actually ended up being a little bit different to edit. The first bit was the same, but you'll see in a minute the second plane that I go to as a bevel. It acts a little bit strange, and so I have to just select more vertices, I believe that they're called. So this first bit worked quite well, worked as intended, but I believe that there was more vertices on the second wall for whatever reason. Again, I'm just double checking to make sure everything is as it should be. Right, now you're going to see just the issue that I had. I thought, oh yeah, let's just do the same again. Oh, no. Stuff's going down. Yeah, and that didn't work, buddy. Right, let's just try some more vertices. So I basically undo what I did, select more, and what do you know, it just ended up working quite nicely. And I just matched my line up. I don't know that it was super important that I did that, but hey, it worked. The exporting it ended up being pretty easy. We just basically, I didn't even bother saving, I just went export FBX. Oh no, I decided to go out of edit mode, make sure I've got my model selected, and go export FBX. Sorry about the red, it just means you need to rename it. And then I just add doors to the name, so I remember what I've done. Just taking a note of my settings, my export settings. And I don't actually change anything there for whatever reason, I just clicked on it. And the thing to note, you don't actually see this in the video, but what I did was I literally selected the mesh instance in the map, and I went down and had my model that I imported back into Unreal, and I literally just swapped out the mesh on that instance, and there was no scaling issues. It was orientated all the right, so it just worked perfect. The only thing was the UV overlappings that I had to sort out. So yes, I re-import here, but then I actually, in my map, I swapped out the mesh instance with this new one that I duplicated and re-imported. So you can import the mesh, the FBX again. There's no reason why you can't. I just chose to do it the way I did. And here you go. The doors are all, everything looks as it is. Doesn't look all weird. And our doors are bigger. Which now leads us on to our next task, is that for whatever reason, what I did is specifically this time has created overlapping UVs. And this basically what I'm going through now is what you'll go through when trying to figure this stuff out. It's not always as simple as what it ended up being. I swapped them around. It turns out all I needed to do was, instead of what I just changed it to 2, if I changed it to 1, it would have worked fine. But for this time, I go through, I had a look at them in the UV preview. Just had a look to see which ones, I don't know, looked any better. There too, you can see it was already got the red line. And the 1, so I should have selected the 1 here. Like I chose the sword, that looked good, and the light map coordinate index on the right hand side there should be 1, and it would have been able to have a light map resolution of 64. Hindsight's 2020, I guess. But you could do this. Sometimes you won't know what's going on exactly, so you'll check different ones, and then you will find what works. Maybe you increase the resolution, and then you slowly decrease in, powers of 2 until it throws that error again. Then you just put it back up 1. As long as it's reasonable, you're not, resolution of 4000, whatever it is. Obviously you don't want that. You want it nice and low. Well, for what I'm doing anyways. The other thing to note is my mesh material looks a bit shot because I'm doing VR. The texture of that material has been, the resolution scaled way back. I think it's 500. Was it? Yeah, 500 odd, and not even 1000. Was it 1028 and 5? Whatever. I always have to work out the numbers. I go, 128 and 512, 256, 512, 1024, 248. I just have to work it out in my head. For some reason, I don't remember them off the top of my head. And there you have it. So we export the file, we import it into Blender or FBX, and then we muck around with it. We bevel. So you want to make sure you've got in the edit mode you've got bevel selected, and then you can move around larger portions by the faces. And then when we're cutting back like planes for the walls, you can bevel again and make sure you do the vertices, slide them over. You've got G, middle click, and yeah, that's summing up. Yeah, I didn't do the greatest video this time, quality wise, just because I really wanted to remember this and I want to get back into making videos. So yeah, we'll get better at it again. It's just a time thing. I don't want to be spending bloody hours and hours on making videos, so I'll see if I can get better at making better quality videos quicker and maybe a little bit more edited down. Good to see you again. Bye.